to say, if for instance you get why do you see everybody that goes for an interview all of a sudden switch up? Every day you go to work, you are literally in a t-shirt and a jean and deckies, dirty deckies, stinky deckies. All of a sudden, when you get an interview, you are this posh motherfucker, fucking, everything just comes back, my man. You know what I mean? But we can easily say that you're faking it. Why are you so quick to change into a different
but
gear?
That's what they expect of me.
But that's the problem. That's what they expect of you, meaning that's not who you are. Do you dress like that every day?
It's not me, Van.
Yeah, that's job.
You know the other day,
but that's the thing.
But
it's everything.
For example, at the current moment, we don't even have a podcast that literally just rates music. And music is a big thing when it comes to South Africa.
It's also international.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I understand. Oh, we just do gossip, gossip. Why?
Even like
Kizama over MacG. That time I'm not like MacG. MacG is like MacG. He's him. He's like that. He's been like that from radio. Then I'm gonna try and be MacG, knowing very well, Jorge, I'm not even like that. I'm not even half the person that he is.
And then you told backlash and then you wonder like how, what's happening? Because now you're not being yourself. You're not being authentic. I feel like people, they want to listen to podcasts where it'll make them not think about their problems. Because obviously when you tap into politics, it's going to remind us that we have a crisis here in South Africa. Our parliament's not doing this. Our parliament's not doing that. ANC this, So they don't want to listen to that. They don't have time to listen to that. I want something that's going to entertain.
It does get a bit depressing sometimes.
Yeah,
what you see with the celebrities, one thing I know about celebrities is that they don't last in podcasting. It's because they don't know how to deal with the fact that they can be big as celebrities, but not a lot of people or all the followers that they have are going to be watching them.
I think in terms of social media, it can get addictive. When you post something and then people like it, the engagement, oh, you look good, you look amazing, and then you obviously have younger people like, oh, I want to be like you. That can get addictive because now you want people to.
It's a thrill
for that person, so they're gonna keep doing it because they like that validation that they get from the people.
I think the justice system, especially for the average person, it's created to keep us in line and to not. I feel like it also is created to also keep the rich in power and to make sure that their assets are safe. So if me, a regular person, get a no man, and it's a rich and powerful person, they're gonna make sure that the law is made so that the rich person can still keep their assets. Because I feel like I'm gonna sue Khwezi because Khwezi and Khwezi is a big shot. They're gonna make sure they literally they're not gonna punish you.
Like
so to add on.
Welcome to Global Streetz Live. We're reporting live for the Street Squads as we are coming back at it again. Hey, you can't wait to just interrupt me now. Okay, Global Streetz Live. Okay, Global Streetz Live. You see that man is already taking the mic. All right, good people. I hope everybody's good. And welcome to us back again. We're doing what we do best. And I've got LSG in the block.
Why not building?
In the block. We're in the streets, dog. What fucking building?
Oh, fuck.
We're in the streets. Constantly in the fucking streets. What block? What building? On the block. Got Gahis on the other block. Got Neo on the other block. And I've got me on the... You get what I mean? Thank you very much for tuning in, and we are obviously here again to give you what we give best, and that is proper stuff. Like, this is probably the one podcast that you will find very much in touch with reality, very much in touch with what you can really relate to. And that's the purpose of life, right? You know, to just relate. So let's get into it. I says, bro, what are you thinking about, dog?
No, I'm waiting for you to finish.
Mark, he's deep
in thought, dog. I'm thinking, yeah. What the hell? Righty.
Oh shit. Damn it.
All right, let's go for it. What do you have to say, bro? I'm just more interested in what you're thinking about. Be honest.
This man has a lot of problems, bro.
Be honest with the street squad.
Nah.
They're there for you. You guys
are you
there
okay, bro?
I was not thinking.
Okay, what's happening?
I was calculating.
What are you calculating?
If I'm gonna survive the whole year.
How the fuck would you not?
Because it's either Gitlo Bulaya.
Sure. I don't think it's about me. I should not have asked this question.
Bruh, now by twist that we back away.
This guy wants to kill me.
Nah, I don't.
Well, I'm glad we have this on record, so if anything happens to me, this motherfucker would have done something.
That's the reason why I'm going to kill him.
Yeah. Over a podcast, imagine.
Imagine.
Okay, guys, with that being said, do you guys think podcasts will lose their impact if the market gets too crowded?
No.
Too crowded in terms of like if there are like too many podcasts.
Yeah. Because, you know, like these days, there's a lot of people are like, everyone's on the podcast thing, whereas before it wasn't as popular as now.
True. So eventually, but at the same time, I can say that it's like it's all up to the people to say, what are you ingesting and what do you want to ingest? Because as much as there might be many podcasts, but the delivery is different, you know? Yes, it might be one concept, but if you listen to us, for instance, I mean, we are in a totally different sphere compared to what other podcasts might actually be talking about, you know? So I think it's all up to the people to determine as to whether a specific podcast will fall short or not.
I don't think it's matter of it being crowded, but the authenticity of podcasts is what will be impacted more, because, you know,
what impact it has.
Yeah. Or like, as you said, the delivery.
Yeah.
I feel like these days more people are looking at numbers, so they get on podcasts just to talk shit. You understand? Yeah. And they do whatever it takes to get those numbers. Because what I've seen these days is that a lot of podcasts, it's about gossip more than actual, you know, informative like information or just in the world. Yeah. They're just there to gossip and just talk trash about other people.
Practically.
Because they know people are going to engage with that more than us actually having decent conversations.
Yeah. And I've picked up that a lot of people actually, like, as human beings, for some odd reason, we love mayhem, we love bloodshed, we love to see chaos. Those types of things. Like we are so into wanting to say positive, but secretly we want to see bad things happening, you know? And I don't know why we are built like that as human beings, but it's just really messed up.
You know, I don't think, even if there's going to be a lot of podcasts popping up and the industry being too crowded, I don't think the essence and the value of podcasting is going to be lost, because just like music, there's too many musicians. Yeah. But
in the same genre as well.
There's audience for everyone.
Practically, yeah.
So even the people that do trash music, there's people that listen to that.
Love that music, yeah.
So even if it can be crowded, people will still look for what they look for within that crowd. For an example, people will be looking for your type of MacGs, your serious conversations, and whatever that speaks to that person, they'll be looking for it, and they'll continue listening to that kind of content. Yeah. The overcrowding of the industry, the podcasting space, it's going to be overcrowded by people that are looking for a quick way of trending and becoming big. And once they are not able to do that or achieve that, they're gonna be out.
Yeah.
As soon as they came in, they're gonna be out.
They're gonna look for the next thing they
this
can
thing is
do.
not working, so I need to try something else. So it can be, it definitely will be crowded eventually, because everyone can pick up a camera. You don't even have to pick up a camera. Pick up a phone, buy mics, start recording.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, Jorge, if you're not in it for the realness of it, and you're trying to make a quick buck,
you'll soon fall off.
Yeah, you'll definitely be out as soon as you came in.
That's true. And of course, because podcasts before, it was a thing of we listened to it like radio.
Yeah.
Whereas you didn't sit down and watch, So I think, for me, I also think when that started, I would also think that that's where I saw more. It's not gonna go in the direction where, because podcasts were respectable, because they talked about, you knew that how you go podcasting, you actually gonna listen to something serious, no matter the theme. Then they got on TV, on camera, plus with TikTok helping them. It's almost like I'm watching a reality TV show more than actually...
Yeah, like a talk show.
Like a talk show more than an actual podcast. So I feel like that, it has a huge impact.
And then the other thing about podcasting, I think the reason why there's a lot of podcasts, limo mzansi, but they almost doing the same thing, all of them. And that's because... I don't know why people's minds are wired like this, but as soon as they see something working out for someone else, they think they can do it too.
Yeah.
Which is the reason why all of them, they want to say the wildest shit so that they can trend.
Exactly.
All of them, they want to have the same format because that one guy did it and he popped. And then everyone else is thinking, then it means this thing I can do it.
You can do it, yeah.
I just need to speak shit about celebrities or just speak the wildest shit. Then I'm going to trend. And then you're going to get your 2 minutes of fame. So I think also that's another thing that's killing the podcasting industry, because when you look at or watch the podcasts that go the US, there's podcasts for everything. There's cars podcast. There's people that are doing reviews of your Netflix movies and series. There's podcasts for literally anything.
There's Christian podcasts, there's true crime podcasts.
Everything that you can think of.
Everything. So
more is
there's
a lot of podcasts, but they're doing the same thing.
The same thing. They're talking about celebrities, influencers.
And they don't know, they don't think, there's audience for everyone.
And there is.
Yeah.
And for me, anyone that wants to start a podcast, you can't start a podcast if, number one, whatever that you're going to talk about, you don't even have knowledge of it. You're not going to make sense. What are you doing? Because if you're not going to be talking about something that you can speak about, even if someone asks you about that thing now, without knowing how you're going to speak about it, and you cannot answer, you need to go and do research first. And it means you don't know what you're doing, because it's like you're acting. As you're gonna run out of your acting ways of that thing, and it's out in because it's not something that you're passionate about.
Not genuine about it either,
eventually you're gonna be like, it takes a lot of effort to do this thing. I have to do research, I have to do 1, 2, I have to if you're gonna be speaking about something that you know that you can speak about from the top of your dome, then definitely then you can speak about it. But if you're gonna be trying to do, for an example, Gizama over MacG, that time I'm not like MacG. MacG is like MacG. He's him. He's like that. He's been like that from radio. Then I'm gonna try and be MacG, knowing very well, Jorge, I'm not even like that. I'm not even half the person that he is.
And then it's all a backlash, and then you wonder like, how, what's happening? Because now you're not being yourself. You're not being authentic.
Well, it's when once you get yourself in that position, and then you get a backlash, and then you want to act like a victim. No. You're not a victim. You're not a victim because you were just doing it for views. But now you have to deal with the consequences.
And you can tell when someone is doing it for views, because it's almost as if they come up with the most bizarre content and theme of an episode. How did we get here?
How do we get here?
Because I saw there was a podcast, a snippet of a podcast that I saw on TikTok where, like, as I said, it turned into a reality TV show where they bought this person. I confronted this person. I was like, this is no longer a podcast anymore. It's like a talk. It's a talk show at this point. but then obviously they are presenting themselves as we are podcasters, and I'm like, this is not. You can tell that these people are just doing it for views and numbers. And I saw, like, I'm not gonna lie, they were getting engagement. You know, their views were high because obviously, as you said, it's like people want,
people love drama.
They love drama, and so they were engaging with that, and like,
it's a big
I saw
mess.
that thing go. Well, I saw it with that other podcast, that will MacG, and then I saw it with the open chats as well. There was a girl that spoke something about the other girl, and then kind of those niggas that run that podcast, they called that girl that was spoken about. And then she came in and then she was confronting that girl, and then they knew who this was going to happen, because as soon as it started, they just moved and let them do their thing. All they needed is just the content.
Okay.
And they knew who this is gold. This is gold. This is what people are here for.
This is what people want.
So it's but I know who people will do anything for views.
obvious.
People would do anything for views, but I don't. To answer your question, I don't think the essence and the value of podcasting is going to be lost. Yes, this is nothing. The industry is still going to be full.
Yeah, because I even see influencers and celebrities also starting podcasts themselves.
What you see with the celebrities, one thing I know about celebrities is that they don't last in podcasting. It's because they don't know how to deal with the fact that they can be big as celebrities, but not a lot of people or all the followers that they have are going to be watching them.
But I think generally you also just can't be a jack of all trades. You might be good at acting, you might be good at singing, but it does not necessarily mean that you're going to be good at like talking and addressing people and just holding a conversation and going on. So yes, it's a common thing that we've also just seen even outside of just like podcasts in general, to say you see a lot of celebrities trying to tap into different markets. Yes, it's maybe just a way to hustle, but at the same time I'm thinking just follow your expertise, just go into what you are very good at. Yes, we might not necessarily be in the best of, economic climate, but and that's probably what's causing everybody to just try and do as many things as they possibly could. But when it comes to the arts, I just personally feel like, it's very rare where you find an all-rounder, where you're going to be good at singing, you're going to be good at talking, you're going to be good at presenting, you're going to be good at acting, you're going to be good at just modeling. It's very rare to have those types of individuals. Yes, you do get them, but I think, you can look at it in that thing, okay. Sometimes it comes back to what you're saying, to say, it's not, that's what I'm saying. Currently we're talking about podcasts. Yes, we do see a lot of, people or celebrities who we know from a particular skill, but now have found themselves drawing into the podcast market. But then, the question is, are they really good at it?
I don't think it's about for them. From what I've seen, a couple of celebrity podcasts that I've watched, for me, because it's, as I said before, like sometimes you can tell when something is not for someone, So obviously, having watched some of those podcasts, I can see, what, this is like garba hasela in a way, because it's only like now where we see people going from being actors to DJs, people going from being from this career going to being DJs. I feel like it's the same things happening with podcasts when it comes to celebrities and influencers. They're doing the same thing with podcasts.
With all fairness, if there's over 8 billion of us in the world, every market's going to be saturated.
True.
It matters not which field or which market you go into, it's going to be packed. It's just other markets, we think they're not packed because we're not interested in them.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go into cars, it's packed. If you're going to be a doctor, it's packed. If you're going to be a lawyer, it's packed. It matters not what profession you go into or what field you go into. It's packed. There's 8 billion of us, bruh.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And
but I think what lacks in podcasts sometimes is diversity. Like LSG Watch or was it now? I don't quite remember. There's even like chefs that speak and I mean OnlyFans essentially was that for that purpose. Would see if you are a chef and you're cooking, people can stream and watch your shit and they pay you for that. And they globally, but they used it, of course, for X-rated content. But content it's mainly gossip.
Yeah.
There isn't panel is trying with political more political affiliated podcasts and all that, but other than that there isn't much.
True. The other thing that we need to think about, especially in Kamzans, is that we're not big enough as a country. So unfortunately there isn't a lot of, for an example, for someone that will do a podcast like your panel, which is not really entertainment, it's serious stuff, right? So they're not just sitting there laughing and entertaining people. It's serious stuff. The country is not big enough for you to have the same numbers as MacG, even if you can collect all of your serious people that want to watch that kind of content. The industry and the country is not big enough. Go the States, you know who you're dealing with, a country which is like a continent. And there's a lot of people that can watch. You can literally be successful as a podcaster and doing nothing else. Mokum Zanzi, the country is not big enough. And the people that do the content, MacG, I sort of understand them because MacG is the person that has gone through the trial and he's now reaping the rewards. So you sort of need to steal from his following because you know who that's the following that's looking for that kind of content. So in a way, you need to tap into some of the things that he does because you know who the audience that follows him actually is there for that kind of a content. When, let's say you are doing a cars podcast. Well, not cars, because there's a lot of people that do cars now, even though it's not podcast, but there's a lot of cars content, cars reviewing. But let's say you go into food, you do podcasts about food and you review food and do all of these things. Because you don't know how well you're going to do and you're walking in blindly there. You don't know if there is people that are actually waiting for that kind of content or you're just going to be boring people. Because people are not really paying attention to or not interested in food like that. You sort of need to borrow from not from the content, but from the type of style that MacG does, because you know those are the people that are there for a podcast. Instead of just going to go and fetch people altogether from that are not even into podcasting, they're not into MacG's podcast, and they definitely are not even into podcasting, and you need to convince them, I'm talking about food and this is interesting. So it's very hard to step into something blindly because sometimes you need to give yourself time and say, listen, maybe by this time I should have achieved these kind of numbers. If I don't, I'm out. Then sometimes you see, maybe you start by doing your own thing and then you end up seeing yourself lower without even noticing, no man, I'm becoming a mini MacG now. And that's because you are also looking for the people that are watching MacG's podcast because he's got the numbers. And unfortunately, the reason why all the people are doing the same content is because we know he's got those people.
But I think the market is big enough. I think as black people, I'll point it out at black people, we focus on wrong things. For example, Christian podcasting or anything that has to do with Christian, that's big. And whatever, if you're gonna go at that, it's not only gonna be South Africa alone. You're gonna hit international markets. As you say, in cars is a big thing as well.
It is.
I mean, at the current moment, we don't even have a podcast that literally just rates music. And music is a big thing when it comes to South Africa.
It's also international.
Exactly. I understand. Oh, we just do gossip, gossip. Why?
Or even like, as Lesoko said earlier on, Kakwa, or I don't know if it was you, in the Kakwa overseas, go America, they have podcasts for everything. As you say, we always focused on the wrong things, gossip and politics. Idea the podcast, like even the Christian ones, they could
actually blow up more South Africa because there's a lot of Christians.
Yeah, and you know what's
because we are
currently
focused on the wrong thing.
trending on TikTok now? It's where that DA and PAMP,
yes, I've seen
parliament,
those.
yeah,
the one that are grilling those people. In
yeah. So politics is something that is big, Mumzansi. Why don't we have Batu panel focus likes politics as well? And one thing I like about him, it doesn't only focus on South African politics. It's no Traore, they're trying to kill him. Who's talking about that shit?
Yeah, true.
But BRICS now got the tariff states, America, when there was America and China, whole fight about tariffs.
And
who was talking about that? But it was trending for weeks on
It could be pretty educational, by the way.
I just feel like
it could be.
I just feel like, especially here in South Africa, we are, as Ka also said, we are focused on the wrong things.
Yeah.
I feel like people, they want to listen to podcasts where it'll make them not think about their problems. Because obviously, when you tap into politics, it's going to remind us that we have a crisis here in South Africa.
Yeah, true.
Our parliament's not doing this, our parliament's not doing that, ANC this, you know. Yeah. So they don't want to listen to that. They don't have time to listen to that. I want something that's going to entertain.
It does get a bit depressing sometimes.
Yeah.
So let's just channel into something that's gonna make me
sometimes
feel.
I don't think it's a matter
sparked.
of time, and sometimes I don't think it's a matter of maybe we focusing on the wrong things. I just think there's a market for everyone. Just like look at America, you do find your Joe Biden podcast. It's the same thing as MacG, talking about trending stories. It's gossip. Breakfast Club, when they put in those episodes on YouTube, they speak about what's happening. Gossip. You do find there's a couple of them, but while you're finding those, there's others too. It's just that more Mumzansi, I think people are just reluctant to just start speaking about what you're passionate about. There's a market for that thing.
And there's a market, for example, you're talking about cooking. Siba was like our Gordon Ramsay.
Bro.
She had her own channel, go DSTV and all that. Yeah, Food Network.
Yes.
There's legit a market for everything, Buffett.
There is.
And remember, some markets, although they're small, but they pay more than the bigger markets.
They do.
Like hip hop is it's big, nah? But it doesn't have a market of people that want to pay. As opposed to, for example, Christian gospel. When last did you hear an artist complaining about copywriting or barekisa mtubul? Christians actually go to the store and they buy or they stream your music, and that's why that that late artist who could buy Pastor High an ML and a Mercedes-Benz SUV.
Oh, yeah.
You understand? So like, it's not as popular as your hip hop and whatnot, but they make more money than your hip hop artist, I would believe.
Practically.
Yeah, so I definitely do think, and I think also when I look at the podcasts that are in the network, MacG, he always wants those podcasts to have an element of him and speaking about the wild shit, because there was a soccer podcast that was on the channel and he had to revamp that whole podcast and bringing in younger guys and get rid of those older guys that we're talking about, because I think he found them a bit boring and not speaking to the people that he wanted to speak to.
Yeah,
there was another beautiful podcast that he used to do back in the day of the ladies only. They spoke about the things that are affecting ladies, and it was very refreshing. I used to watch it religiously. And then he stopped it because it was not doing as good in terms of numbers. Like they were speaking about normal stuff, nothing that MacG usually speaks about, not some
lady
wild
shit.
shit. No man, I'm not saying it like that, man. Like they were talking about relationships and all of that.
But
kind
from
of
a lady's
content.
perspective, or
Yeah,
point
from
of
the
view.
Oh,
lady's
so like they had
perspective,
women
yes.
on there too.
So
Okay.
it was very refreshing, and I think it was the first one because it was back in the day, like maybe 2020, 2019,
Legit.
somewhere there. Yeah. So it was very refreshing, and he stopped it. I think it was not bringing in the same numbers that he brings,
Or that
and
he
obviously
expected for it,
you cannot expect any of those podcasts to do the
To
numbers
be-
that
yeah,
he
to be
does.
Yeah.
Because
to what
it's
you do.
unfair to even compare.
Exactly.
But anyway, we can move.
But do you think This will basically link into the other topic that comes into hand. What's your take on fake it till you make it?
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Does it work?
Basically, the question is, why do people fake it way more than they are succeeding?
It's all pride.
Is the way of taking it too far?
I think it's just pride and pressure.
Because, sometimes it's good way you fake it to. I'll give you an example now. When I was
It's
reading
motivational. Yeah.
Donald Trump's book, I forgot what the title of the book is. Yana and his partner at the time when they're starting off, the partner actually was saying on that book, he used these last couple of grands to buy an Armani suit and an expensive watch and at least a Lamborghini. Because his perspective was, how would you trust me with your millions if I don't dress the part?
Yeah.
So I rock up with
Lamborghini, dressed up
a suit that goes small street that's not tailored and a kizoga like a tears, but I'm telling you that I can manage your millions.
Yeah, practically I can make you more money. That time
Understand?
I can't even make myself
Meanwhile,
money.
I rock up with the Gucci suit. Fine, high rasi, but when I born a Kia Peru, it's expensive.
Yeah.
And I rock up Gajitlas and I tell you that I can manage your money.
Makes sense.
So basically the question posed is that, can you take it too far where you end up living a lie as opposed you trying to fake it till you make it?
So the example that you just gave is literally the pure, or let me rather say the more reasonable fake it till you make it. Because now you are doing it because you would like to win a particular business proposal, because you know just how the human psyche is. You know what I mean? In order for me to trust you, I need to see that you are able to afford yourself. I need to see that you are able to actually pull this off, and the only way to actually see it is, unfortunately, through material things. However, there's an extreme side of it where now you're going to be sitting there and you're going to be doing, there's the extreme side of it is literally you getting yourself into debt and looking all glamorous and buying this, buying that, stuff that you probably don't even need, but it's actually not your money. It's you being in debt. So I think that's the poisonous fake it till you make it side of things.
When I think about the fake it till you make it, number one, I think it's bullshit. Number one. Yeah.
True.
I don't go with that thing, because number one, you're putting yourself under unnecessary pressure. You must understand, when we say fake it till you make it, you just like those Instagram girls that go to a hotel or book an Airbnb, shoot pictures for a month.
Bro, I was shocked. Louis Vuitton and Gucci, Temo. They actually rent out those paper bags so they can just shoot content.
Yeah, they even allow them to come
That's what I'm saying. That's the poisonous side of it.
And leave without even buying anything.
That's the poisonous side of it.
You know that guy who was trending the beginning of this month, or the beginning of April rather? Oh, Nakenya's Fatlosai in Ice, that buff guy.
Oh, yeah, I see him.
A lot of people are busy saying, Huri, this man is in the verge of being evicted. They walk a lot, he's neck deep in debt.
Yeah.
But he's putting up a persona that
He's got it.
Yeah.
I think in terms of social media, it can get addictive. When you post something and then people like it, the engagement, you look good, you look amazing, and then you obviously have younger people like, oh, I want to be like you.
Yeah.
That can get addictive, because now you want people to.
It's a thrill
for that person, so they're going to keep doing
like
it because they like that
acceptance
validation that they get from the people.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what a lot of people are experiencing when it comes to fake it till you make it. They are literally addicted to the thrill of people liking and complimenting them. Like, I've met so many people where I know their home
like situation or their personal life situation. But online, it's so different.
Exactly.
They live a perfect life. I'm like, yo, that life looks so good. I want to live it. But when I look at your actual life, it's like, why?
Doesn't make sense,
So I feel like that person just gets the thrill. It's almost, it has an undertone of almost like catfishing. It's just you.
Yeah.
You are catfishing people. It's just you are doing it with your own face and your own,
Yeah.
So I just feel like it has that. They addicted to
validation.
That's why I am saying to me, number one, it's a no for me, and it's a no because I don't think once you can get yourself in that position, you'll be able to come out.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Because I mean, once you have sold a certain image to people, you need to keep up.
Yes.
Otherwise, now, and especially if people are battle baka, then it's gonna be a problem.
That actor Ronnie, who una actor ko hizo as
Ronnie Nyakalle,
yeah. Natural guys, I'm actually sweetheart. I'm very sweet, gentle person. But batho ba tlhakana na strategy, even off scene.
Yeah.
Banana who I'm the gangster guy who's hardcore.
Practically.
Just make shit happen in jail, like just fuck shit up. And he's saying I'm the opposite. Like I'll check ali no naked it's a Uber just to try and make ends meet. Like hara ka push a rough life. Kuri just looks rough, but he's the opposite.
Yeah, image can really be something. I remember, I don't know if you guys remember Nziki from Generation back then.
Yeah.
Pamela Nomvete. She literally got attacked by a Generations fan who was obviously opposing of her actions. Because, Nziki had the very evil,
very hard
character.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Character and you name it. And she pulled it off like so well. And unfortunately, that's just acting. That's exactly how it should be. To say people must now be at that level,
They believe you.
They
like
believe this is who you are.
Which all their acting skills are
Very,
top tier.
very proper. Very, very good. But now coming back to what we are saying, to say, image can really make or break you, practically.
Speaking of this thing, image, I remember one time Zakes Bantwin was at the podcast, I will MacG there, speaking about a thing, he would buy an expensive car and sleep korumo. It's because when he shows up into a meeting, they need to actually believe into whatever that he's going to say.
Yeah, it goes back to what Kagiso had mentioned earlier on.
People start believing in you while you're walking in or driving in.
That's the whole reason. If you look at hip hop before Mapiano fucked the image up, hip hop used to be the expensive genre. Yeah, glamour.
Chains.
Yeah.
Hip hop hats.
I got that. I got money.
It's
about flexing.
Nigga, you wearing 2 chains? Fuck that. I have 5 chains on.
It's about flexing.
Is that even real? How much is your watch? How much is the ring? How much is it? You understand that? What's about a house back then before my piano? It used to be safe, bro. Like kilo all-star and whatever. Okay, now we know like black but now my piano has become like hip hop.
Yeah, practically.
What are you drinking? Who you riding with?
Who you with?
What car you're
not wearing Louis Vuitton.
Wrong understand that.
Whereas when it started, people like, Bokab Calvin Momo, Bokaba Canel, like they were just dressed in ordinary stuff. I'm not saying when you obviously they have the money to buy these luxury brands and it's okay, but as Carlos was saying, it's become now something of that it's becoming an expensive genre because with the image of Amapiano now, people, even when you go to the club, you have to dress a certain way, you have to behave a certain way, you gotta drink this bottle because even in the songs, hey, 1 2 3, Naspuza 1 2 3, Skoga 1 2 3, it's becoming that genre as well.
Practically.
I think the person that's responsible for that kind of a lifestyle for Amapiano, I think it's Pori.
Yeah, Pori's.
But it makes sense because where did he get his fame from? Hip hop.
Exactly. I think also the person that came up with this thing, Khubali V-Class as a topaz, as an artist or a DJ, it's him. It's him who started with that thing.
Fucking car.
He learned that mindset from hip hop.
Exactly.
Hip hop already. I cover hip hop
Exactly.
So he took that mindset and he just engraved it como piano.
And now it's a thing.
Yeah,
It's a thing. No,
if he has
Joe.
the money for it, then sharp. No.
Last time it's just simple as fuck. I just didn't have the proper shoes for that scenery, and they turned me back simply because of the shoes.
Yeah, we couldn't
You
go
know,
in
Johannesburg
because
clubs
this
are
guy-
very strict when it comes to attire.
Couldn't go
I
in.
don't know why.
This guy literally made us not go in the club, bro.
And you wanted to go in.
Can't even go in the club.
But I, not to a certain extent, I agree with the image fake it till you make it. Because think about it. If
Nobody's gonna take you serious, bro.
until you actually do fake it. That's the whole point. But twang and they get a certain accent. They don't want to show where they come from, so they can be taken serious in life.
But is it
Imagine
worth
when I
it?
know
Unfortunately,
Is it worth it though?
it is. So imagine you're trying to rock up a deal and they ask you where you from. Kitswa Zola, Kitswa Mdini, Kitswa Kaikai, but
No, you know the reason why I'm asking.
yeah,
is
you're
it
already
worth
associated
it?
with certain things.
The reason
certain
why I'm
image,
asking if
certain-
it's worth it because now, in terms of hustling, like in terms of business, I can understand. Ne? But now people are taking that mentality and putting into spaces that it's not beneficial to them.
beneficial,
They're not
yeah.
making
It's
money.
actually
They're not doing.
detrimental.
It's
That's
detrimental
like
to
it-
them.
think about it,
There
guys.
could be two
if there wasn't a
ways.
market, would people actually fake it?
Not necessarily. They wouldn't actually.
So why are they faking it if there isn't a market
To
for it?
try and break into it.
Why aren't we promoting realism?
Because realism is never gonna really be realism. People
I feel like with realism, you have
people
it's-
hate real.
Yeah, because now, as I
Then
mentioned
we
earlier
fucking
on,
up.
as I mentioned earlier on, people
The real people
they
have
don't
to
want
fake.
to
Why
actually
don't we-
face reality.
Why don't we put glamour from rags to riches? Not me talking about I come from rags once I'm rich. Like why basa khona bua hore? Dude, sometimes I used to walk an hour to get to the studio to record
Practically.
one track.
Yeah.
Or I used to sleep at LSG's couch in order for me to make ends meet. Or
I mean,
I was behind 4 months.
I feel like it
there.
is glamorized because now that person is able to speak about their struggles.
No,
and
they
then
speak
to
about
their-
it in
to-
brushing.
to their
Like brushing.
success. Whereas when you talk about realism, it's like there aren't people
Nah,
where
they don't brush it. They don't brush through it though.
they actually
brush
talk
through
about
it,
it.
Nah.
That's why we have motivational speakers. They talk about it
why
in detail.
when most of the people when they want to motivate you, they'll tell you about how
Their
they struggle
struggles.
instead of telling you, "Oh, listen, I just got lucky." They
You know
will
what,
just
you
tell
know, you know what
about,
they're saying.
Hey, I started here, bro. Everyone has that.
So
kind
you
of a
can
story.
relate with
But
them.
Mamela, they only talk
But don't focus on it, bro.
They don't talk in that
That's what I wanted to get to.
Get the
When it
guys
come-
up. You know
that's
I
what
said
wanted
it.
to get
Period.
to.
Will a slay queen I shoot a video as a Kenya weave? This is how I look on a normal day. That's
No.
realism, dog.
No, remember-
But Otto wants her, I can say weave.
yeah.
She's telling you a story. I can say weave. Or this is how I used to look.
That's
but
what
can
I'm
say
saying.
weave.
But they will always say it, even though they're saying it later or when they don't look like that anymore. But that
Or-
story will always be there.
For example,
The story will always
for
be there,
example,
but that's
Pori has a lot of videos, ne? Atweri Nyugu.
Ma?
Or ato DJ Maporis.
Yeah.
Atweri Nyugu was about to buy something expensive. But there was an article not so long ago where Babu Ahori, he owes about 20 million.
Oh yes, I
in the
remember.
label.
To Sony, I think.
Did he come out about it and saying this is the struggles of actually being a made man? But he can come out and be saying, "Hore, yeah, people recorded my studio, that's why I can get certain cut and whatnot," as the top dog. But does he come out as,
To say, "I
as
owe
a
this
bottom
much."
feeder saying,
Yeah.
"This is how much I owe, this is what it takes for you to become a Maporisa," and
Look, the struggles. One thing I do know is that what they are struggling with right now, they're not going to speak about it. That's
That's
one
what we
thing.
talk about realism.
But where they come from, they will definitely. There's a picture that Pori always posts where he has many bags, aliko scala, and he always says Hori. When he captions that picture, he always says Hori. Wabona di packets e kaofela, dina di sweets. What negi paisa ko scala. This is where I came from. This is where
Fair
I
enough,
got my.
but what captures people?
But yes, the struggles that he has now, he probably gonna speak about them later, but he's not gonna say it now.
That's part of realism.
That's the
too.
realism part that we talk
But
about.
what I'm trying to say to you is that you'll always hear the story. And yes, I understand Jorge, he probably gonna speak about where he comes from, right? Or Uqadile guy and whatever. At the same time, while he's speaking about that, I probably do know he's probably not gonna give someone an opportunity just because they come from the same background. He wants to hear where you are right
You know
now,
why
and then
real
give you the
people don't
opportunity.
like taking interviews? They don't want to fake it.
Practically. Because you're trying to sell a certain image that you might literally be falling short on.
They don't want to fake it. Because they can see what their
Expectations of the interviewer.
other people, other
that
people are
means
doing
success has been glamorized, ne?
heavily
has.
so.
To a point where people, when they go into certain fields, there's already an expectation.
Yeah.
You understand? So they rather continue with faking it because now success has been glamorized.
That's
for
why
a
you
long
have
time.
people, Batwana and Libo, Easy E, and other artists where they tell you, I'm not a studio gangster. You have people like Snoop Dogg, Baujeter. You can't be a gangster and be a celebrity at the same time. One needs to fall.
Because you can't do both. You can't be a criminal and an
That's why I'm talking about Easy E. They'll tell about Snoop Dogg and about Ice Cube shit saying you're a studio gangster. You talk about selling drugs and all that. You don't do that shit in real life.
You know, actually, that's true because I was seeing this thing. Yeah, I forgot the guy that tells the story. So called TikTok. He was speaking about 6ix9ine. You know, 6ix9ine. That
Tekashi.
Tekashi 6ix9ine. Yeah. So he was saying, "Oh, that nigga on his cover."
Yeah?
No, 6ix9ine, like 6ix9ine.
No, I thought he was talking about Jay Williams relating the story as 6ix9ine. Because I recently saw a story.
I thought 6ix9ine.
No, it's Ray Williams.
Ray Williams, not Jay.
It's,
Pardon me.
yeah,
Ray
it's the
Williams.
same thing. So
is that okay?
It's the same thing. So he was saying, "Hore, 6ix9ine on his come up, he joined the gang,
Dog.
right?
Yo.
And then he became 6ix9ine that was big, but because he was part of the gang and there's rituals in the gang, they had to go and rob people.
Can I go? He's rich. He's making millions, but he's trying to keep an image.
And rob people
And
out
this
of their bags.
is actually a good example to show sometimes it's not even about money. Because that story as 6ix9ine,
Bro.
he was already making money.
Bro, he was
but
making
because he
millions.
was trying to keep this
But
image
because
out
in the gang
I'm
we
gangster.
need to do this. This is a ritual.
And what
Now
does he
you need
rap
to go
about?
and rob people.
What does he rap about?
Fucking
Chief
murder.
Keef, what Chief Keef Nababu, Bo King Von, hey nigga,
King
I'm
Von,
blowing
yeah.
heads. And some VAR, that's what they do.
Hey, my man.
And
That's why for America they could implement they can use your rap or your lyrics
To incarcerate
as
you.
evidence to incarcerate you.
Mm-hmm.
because they came to the realization that hell, these are actual
Most of these,
gangsters.
Like I knew a guy and I said better in this luxury dealership cars. When I want to Espanol vest back, I just bought a Lamborghini. Meanwhile, Mzuzu, like one negotiate my nigga, I only get about 60 grand a month.
There's
I can
no
only
way I'm gonna
afford
get
20
this shit.
grand a month for this car. Or get guys certain installments or deals. You don't know that. When I fell out drive a Bentley and you think, nigga, who's sorted
Racking it. Talk about
Zuzu
racks
eyes.
and racks.
He's blowing
And racks.
a fourth of his money to make sure he's faking it till he makes
Hey.
it, even though he has made it.
Yeah, but
That's
you see that faking till you make it
unfortunate.
thing, it's a fucking prison. Once you get in, you
Yes,
can't get
that's
out.
why I was like, is it worth it now? Because some people that doesn't
to
work for
some
them.
degree.
To
I
some
think-
degree,
I think
but
we
it,
can-
prison.
but it
We can
doesn't work for
admit
everyone.
That to some degree. You know, for the good part, guys, it's the same thing. Like, I'm going to repeat what Kahiso said, but in a different way. To say, if, for instance, you get why do you see everybody that goes for an interview all of a sudden switch up? Every day you go to work, you are literally in a t-shirt and a jean and techies, dirty techies, stinky techies. All of a sudden, when you get an
Stinking is
interview, you are this posh motherfucker, fucking,
This whole top
everything
tier.
just comes back, my man. You know what I mean? But we can easily say that you're faking it. Why are you so quick to change into a
No,
different
but that's
gear?
what they expect of me.
But that's the problem. That's what they expect of you, meaning that's not who you are. Do you dress like that
It's
every day?
not me, Van.
I want the
job.
You're faking it.
You know the other day, ne?
Expecting this.
But that's the thing.
But
it's everything.
for example, ne,
Fake it till you make it is literally you playing a part that everybody else expects you to be.
who
You
knew
just said-
AKA comes from a rich family? Joe?
Exactly.
I was shocked the other day. She be interview Jesse Kilimpura. They actually come from good homes. how they were struggling, but them cuckoo and whatnot.
Yeah.
Now, but and all that. Like when they speak English, man.
Proper. Yeah.
But no, how I share on a daily basis. But everybody Kavela, Bavaga the VR6, but blow me go Alex. I'm not saying hurry. That's not their roots. Don't come from there.
Yeah.
They can relate to the people from there.
True.
And Ukaya Kokas and whatnot. But how you grew up says a different image to what you're living right now.
That's why I get it. What I'm saying now is a perfect example. Meaning, as much as you're saying that it's fucked up to fake until you make it, you have faked it before, my nigga.
You got a job because you faked it.
You are still gonna fake it. You literally just said because that's what they expect of me. That expectation is you getting out of you to become somebody else. So
well, when I go interview, I do understand how I have to fake.
The fact
until I told the sponsor or interview.
The fact interview, you're able to become somebody else. That's already faking it until you
selling yourself. They obviously they need to sell. They need to buy.
That's what fake it till you make it is. I get you're faking it in the interview to look a certain way.
But as soon as I'm walking out, I'm done faking.
Doesn't matter. The fact that you faked it until you made it.
And then I was
Period.
Done.
What? Period. It's done.
Okay. I can get it works to a certain extent to fake it, ne? But the reason why I was saying, is it worth it? Because as Lisoho was saying, Horace, it becomes a prison because some people, they don't know how to get out of that character. In an interview, once that interview's over, you go back to being yourself.
Yeah.
But these people, they are there constantly every day, being fake every day. I'm in Sentin buying Gucci, Louis Vuitton, whereas that's not.
Yeah, it can become addictive.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
It can become addictive. You are not valid. That's why I said that there are good traits of it or good outcomes of it, and then there are also bad outcomes of it.
I'm just gonna switch and go to a different topic. On this fake it till you make it scenario, I'll just merge it with what this question is posing, of expectation versus reality. So, for example, when it comes to your dream jobs or career that you wanted as a kid versus the reality now, it doesn't even have to be about careers. Anything that you've always wanted, and once you've attained it and you find out it's something different or it's exactly what you had wanted, what's your guys' take on that?
Okay, wait, you said, so just repeat that last part.
So for example,
from what you want,
maybe when I know about and you actually get that job and you find out this is actually shit. Because moving you, it's action packed.
It looks nice.
But when I meanwhile go police station, you're just certifying shit.
Yeah, practically.
You're not doing shit. You're just certifying. So what's your thought on expectation versus reality? This is, for example, a rapper lifestyle or lifestyle that DJ is the best shit ever. But meanwhile, they spend 80% of their time in studio actually composing music and
it's not so fun. Yeah.
When I have suits, a lawyer, you're on a no.
Yeah.
Hey,
but there's a lot of studying.
But meanwhile,
research
90% of the time is reading case studies. He's doing this. I go jail, out and all that. So,
bro, you know while you're speaking about the lawyer thingy, on the sense of me, you are case. Fuck.
Oh, earlier 40,000 pages.
40,000 pages. And I'm like, what the fuck?
40,000.
40,000, my nigga.
Of what?
Evidence.
40,000.
And it's not just skimming through it. He needs to break down and dissect everything.
Well, and you know, go on the field, you lawyer detailing the details they met.
Because those 40,000 pages, you need to summarize.
You see where your head is now, You see where your head is now.
40,000 is crazy.
From where your head is to where your feet is, that's roughly about 40,000.
And mind you have to summarize
in terms of like if
the evidence you need to read.
You have to read.
And that's not the whole case.
It's
that's just you catching
the
up.
whole case.
Part of evidence. That's it.
The fuck, bro? Who testified, dog? Who the fuck testified?
But remember, the case has been going on for 10 years. So it needs to catch up.
Fuck me.
That's fucked
When
up.
I saw that thing, I was like,
I'll quit. I'll quit.
40,000 pages.
That's what the lawyer said. He's like, Your Honor, if how extended it, No, excuse myself.
That's why lawyers have paralegals. They're like assistants for lawyers. So they are there to also help them with their secretaries to come and help.
I'd hate to be a paralegal.
But what happens now if you are so proprietor or you just the sole ownership of the practice?
That's crazy.
It's just you. How now? You don't have a legal team behind you.
Then I need one.
That's a fucked
Especially
up
for a big case like this, you need a legal
team.
team.
But remember, who are they representing? They're representing the accused. Does the accused have money to go for a legal team?
They will need to. They will need to.
Mfana, when I saw that thing, and it became a thing because this guy, he asked actually for 3 weeks and they gave him 6 weeks to go and read that 40,000 pages. And then he came after 6 weeks saying, "Oh, I got fed. Can I have another 2 weeks?" The judge was like, "Fuck that."
This is why you need a legal team for, especially big cases. You need a legal team. Someone who's gonna be there and be like, "Okay, I found this on this page.
Let's divide it. If there's 5 of us, then when I read,
you need to check who your client is. If your client is not paying for you to afford the legal team, you can't.
Number one, I can't read 5 pages without getting distracted or my thoughts distracting me. Now I end up thinking about other things while I'm trying to read. 40,000.
You are pressed on time.
But you know, reality versus expectation. No? My biggest upset was,
I think when it comes to being a lawyer, that would have been my thing. I didn't know I'm gonna.
Thing is, I was gonna say, you wouldn't have known until you got into that field. So if let's say I wanted to be a cop as a kid, and what I saw on TV, and actually being a cop now, and be like, no, I don't want this. How would I have known if I didn't go?
For me, it would be engineering.
A cop?
So like your mechanical and electrical. How many electrical engineering? Onani someone who actually invents shit, like your Nikola Tesla, your Thomas Edison. But meanwhile, mutu atanko eskomo. Who's gonna take that shit down? That's an electrical engineer. How is that service? I took my car to service. That's a mechanical engineer. We're not mechanical engineers. People that yes, they do, but that's top tier type of mechanical electrical engineering. But other than that, a normal engineer is just a person who maintains.
Nah, I'm fine. I don't wanna lie to you. When I was growing up, I've never had this thing, I want to be this, I want to be that. Maybe I was not ambitious enough, but I don't remember. Even when I was doing matric, dog, I didn't know what I was going to do the following year. I didn't know if I want to go back to school, if I want to continue with school, if I want to go and work. I didn't know what to do.
I don't like in Kabi. Yeah. Because if not like gang,
Listen was probably going to be one of those kids that be like, what do you want to be? Because there was that video that trended with that kid that is like, it was a boy child was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I can't remember, he gave like the weirdest response. And it was a negative one to say, what did he say?
Oh, that Zulu guy.
Yeah, the kid. He's like,
no. We say obatlo lawyer. Bambotsa wa batlo ba lawyer. Are ke batlo represent batho ba tshwana le time la ka ba utswang dikara and everything. If you're speaking about the same video, it's a different one.
Oh, that kid just snitched on his dad.
That kid gave her that one is very calculated. That one is very calculated. I want one guy and he's very calculated. He knows what the fuck.
But at the same time, he snitched on his dad because now people know your dad steals cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to lie to you.
Maybe his dad is already in jail. That's why he's feeling that shit.
Yeah,
I need to bail.
I gotta bail him out. I gotta get him out of there.
Yeah, I remember when maybe I was still in primary because being Liponesa was a thing. I don't know why for kids. I remember saying Liponesa, but after primary school,
it changes.
I was just going through school, dog, without knowing what the fuck I want.
Same.
Even in matric.
Nothing. The first thing. I think I threw it out because of, I think, just getting steered into a totally different career. But I think I've wanted to be a pilot since I was like maybe in grade 7, and I was at a decent age. Pilot, type of vibe, and up until like varsity vibe. Or let me rather say the intro of varsity. And it's that thing that this is what I want to be. But then, yeah, things changed, and then I looked into psychology. That changed too, and I looked into something else. Like, let's
fuck
go.
This thing.
You get what I mean? But yeah.
But you know, if there's one thing, ne, for me, if there's one
you
thing,
got a certificate in something else.
No. Continue, Lesego.
But if there's one thing that the expectation of it versus what we wanted when we were growing up is totally different, is adulting.
Shit, bro.
Adulting is fucking hard, dog. Responsibilities.
Yo.
But honestly speaking, I think the system also just fucked us over.
And I was about to ask.
I think 90% of the shit that you study at school, all the way up and fucking till like maybe even varsity, is nothing close to what the fuck you do in any working environment.
No, but
I think
our parents made shit look easy,
the
dog.
only 3 careers that you can maybe apply what you really studied for is being a doctor, accountant, and what else?
A lawyer. Those were the top 3.
Yeah, maybe a lawyer. But everything else is like, why the fuck did I have to do Pythagoras theory? Why the fuck did I have to do trigonometry? I'm not applying this shit anywhere in my life.
I wanted
daily.
to ask that. I wanted to ask you guys, like, what is the biggest scam that we've been tricked into believing in society? I was gonna say adulting. They told us a dream. They told us that it is easy when you become an adult. You're gonna have money.
But to be honest,
everything.
our parents told us, wait until you grow up.
Yeah.
No,
Wait
you see, the thing is,
you grow up.
We didn't believe them because
I
obviously.
think, guys, the system on its own is just fucked up. Like, I hear our parents, nah? I hear that parent part, but I just feel like the system on its own is literally built to get us to be in narrow-minded, follower,
you need to conform. You need to
obey, taking instructions, and you name it. Because if you check how the school system was, they literally made you line up. They literally wanted one answer from all of you. If you bring a different opinion, you are wrong. Now imagine a world where you literally did what your mind could explore. You'd be a totally different person. There would probably be 100 more careers that we can all just venture into, as opposed to just the very few that we can actually select. Because one thing I've noticed, people are very talented in just different spaces, different things outside of the schooling or what the school actually teaches us. A lot of people are just talented in maybe even physical aspects of just doing things. But why isn't there like a physical class at school from grade 1 all the way up until grade 12? What happens to those kids that aren't so book smart and they're like, we're thinking, I'm able to work very well with my hands, so can I also get a course that is able to just get this crafting of mine getting better and better and better, So, yeah, I think we just sabotaged.
But
you want to know, the South African school system is probably the worst. Because I want to know,
it's all over the world,
if you
dog.
check, it is all over the world. But I think we left behind like ass crack. Like
our issue with our education system is that we don't have the opportunity to actually work in those fields because of unemployment. If the job market was good as compared to, I would say, other countries, I don't think a lot of us would be working the jobs that we have. We would be actually working where we want to work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
True.
And that's why all of us it's like in other countries like America, you find people working 3 jobs. And those people, sometimes they don't even want to work. Rona, you have to even beg to be employed.
Of course.
That's how scarce the jobs are.
So let me ask this question.
In order to survive.
It because Gutle Abu about the system and all that shit. So do you guys think that the justice system or the system entirely is designed to protect the rich and powerful?
Of course.
Yeah.
Practically.
Because I was checking this video with this guy, one of the Tate brothers. I think Andrew Tate's older brother or younger brother. Nabu Are, the fine system is there to protect the rich. if you're giving me a speed ticket, I have money. I'm gonna pay for that shit. It's not gonna affect me.
It means nothing to me.
I understand that.
Yeah.
If you give me a parking ticket, I can park basically wherever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Ticket at 300, it's not gonna affect me.
Yeah.
I have money.
Yeah.
You give me a ticket because I didn't obey the law. It doesn't affect me. I have money. I'm gonna pay for that shit. That is only to punish the broke. If we're not or you setting grocery and you can't afford any other expenses, if they fine you,
you're fucked.
Better it's to punish you.
Practically.
But if you have an abundance of excess money,
it means fuck all.
It means fuck all, dog.
Yeah. It means fuck all too.
I think the justice system, especially for the average person, it's created to keep us in line and to not. I feel like it also is created to also keep the rich in power and to make sure that their assets are safe. So if me, a regular person, get a no man, and it's a rich and powerful person, they're gonna make sure that the law is made so that the rich person can still keep their assets. Because I feel like I'm gonna sue Khwetsi because Khwetsi and Khwetsi is a big shot.
Yeah.
They're gonna make sure they literally they're not gonna punish you.
Like so to add on what Neo was saying, civil suits. Civil is basically if let's say you bump into me, I don't have insurance.
Yeah.
It's not a criminal matter.
Yeah.
I can't go to the government for assistance to a certain extent.
Yeah.
If it's a criminal matter, let's say or you killed my family member, I can get you arrested, then I can get a government lawyer to represent me or whatever the case is. Understand? Then I don't have to spend if I can put it that way.
Yeah.
But civil matters, I need to spend.
You have to spend to.
So if, for example, you did opakile where you shouldn't have parked, or I borrowed you something and you didn't bring it back, or you bumped into my car and now you don't want to pay.
Yeah.
Those are civil matters.
Okay.
For me to be able to get back what is mine, I need to sue you. And in order for me to sue you, I need to get legal representative.
That's paying.
Understand? Or you fire me from a business that you had and you fired me unlawfully. So yes, the CCMA and all that shit. But in order for me to sue you, I need to go through the legal system of which I need to do myself. So essentially, as a rich person, you're protected because I won't have the financial capacity for me to pursue whatever endeavor that I need.
And I also think it's also made to hide.
It goes back to saying justice is for the rich.
Yeah, because I feel like it's also designed to make sure it protects the secrets of the rich. Because if we actually found out what these people actually do in reality to how they actually became billionaires, it would be like, no, you guys don't even need to be thrown in jail. You need to be put it on a death sentence.
Practically.
You understand?
And that's why you see a lot of cases in the country actually fail when it comes to really finding the culprits. We know who the culprits are, or they know who the culprits are. However, because I ordered a hit on Neo, now I am the person who ordered the hit. Lesego looked for the person who's going to do the hit. Kagiso is the person that's going to do the hit, type of thing, 1, 2, 3. We are all guilty, in terms of conspiring for this hit,
this syndicate.
However, because I've got the money to ensure Kagiso habui, I'll either continue paying him, or if they know him, then I'm gonna pay whatever lawyer, witness, judge is going to be representing this stuff. Antoine. So it's a mess.
You know that what you guys are saying, it's actually what this other girl that I saw on TikTok a couple of months back, probably last year, early, if I'm not mistaken. But she was saying the same thing about Christianity. She was saying how the Christianity religion was maybe she was speaking about Christianity. She was saying how it's designed to make every wrong thing morally wrong. Yeah? Well, what we regard as wrong is, according to the Bible, is morally wrong, right? For an example, she says that if you go and steal from rich, morally, that's wrong. right? According to the Bible. However, if the rich stamps on people and they kill people to become rich and become a billionaire, they have to catch a couple of dead bodies, right? To become rich. According to the Bible, we can't do anything to those people. Or he's saying he's going to have his day. But even though we know that day, we can't do anything to him. He can continue being a billionaire that he is. Even though we know what he has done,
we can't do shit.
We cannot do nothing because morally that is wrong. So it means this person can do whatever that they want because relatela what the Bible says. We need to live properly. We need to live according to the Bible and not sin. While this person can continue sinning and stealing out of our money and enriching himself. So that girl was actually saying that's actually what the Bible is designed as. It means all the people that are rich, they can do whatever that they want. But you can't do shit. They will have their day. You
honestly
cannot do
speaking,
nothing.
I actually want us to have a specific topic on religion and just how it just may be a terrible twist to how we've just been living throughout our lives. And it's I don't want to get into it now, but I'm just saying what you're saying. There's so much more that I want to actually just get into.
What?
But I totally hear what you're saying, and it's very true. But I want us to digest it even further.
So what now, ne? Since we'll have a separate topic to attend that matter at hand, ne? Or an episode. What is one thing that should be illegal but isn't? So this is basically in continuation to what LSG is saying. Which, religion will say this is morally wrong, but if someone has done it, just let it be. God will judge and punish them for that. So what is one thing that should be illegal but isn't?
Shit.
Tough questions, guys.
What is?
So now I would say basically a capitalist society.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I do not understand
I was just about to.
how one person can have 100 billion, whereas another person can't afford a loaf of bread.
Bro?
Doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
You were born in this earth the way I was born in this earth. How are you entitled to own a mine, but I'm not? This is all God's creation. Why should I drink dirty water, but you drink clean water?
I saw this other clip on TikTok speaking about what you are saying about this mine thing. This guy was saying, if the government finds out there's diamonds in your yard, which is yours,
they belong to fucking them. Oh, like what the fuck?
But if they find out there's drugs buried in your yard,
it belongs to you, son of a fucking bitch.
So the law says
this government.
the law says if you own basically land, what's above, what's below belongs to them, and what's in the middle basically is yours.
Okay. Above, just explain above. Just explain above, below.
So basically, let's say now, you shoot away we are shooting.
Yeah.
It's your piece of land.
Yeah.
And you dig, or maybe you dig a borehole and you discover oil. That's below. That belongs to the government.
Okay.
It's not yours.
And when you
And
say above,
basically that's if you want to fly an aeroplane and whatnot, the aerospace, whatever thingy, that's the government.
okay.
They
And
can
the
fly
middle?
over your land. The middle basically is the ground that you're sitting on.
Okay.
My house.
You can plant, you
Sons of
can
bitches.
build, you can do all that
They
shit.
fucking
They're robbing
boss,
us.
that boss, I get oil.
Let me dig
in
now
my
and
yard,
find that
boss.
there's oil.
Fucking
But you know what's fucked up? The
over.
government basically is a representation of you and the masses. Why can we like I don't understand. With South Africa for the longest of time used to be the highest producers of gold. We have the highest unemployment, Buffett.
Bruh, that's because they ship fucking shit there.
Be that as it may, that gold that they're digging up and they're sending Orkant, It's a representation of the someone who's living in the street who can't afford a loaf of bread.
But we should be manufacturing it here, meaning that's where jobs should be created.
So that's what I'm saying. For me, a capitalist society should be illegal, but
It should
isn't.
be.
Why?
It's there because it's working for the
Like
rich.
I believe
working for the
the
rich.
bartery system was better. Like LSG when on Mbuka construction, it is Mbuka plumbing. How about I trade my services for your services?
And that's how trading used to be back then.
I can give you 1,000 tomatoes
You give me like
for 100
1,000
chickens of you.
1,000 slices of steak, boss.
thing is,
Mthola.
This thick.
thing is, the reason
know-
why they switched it, obviously, it's obvious because it didn't work for other people. Because if you look at Europe, what were they gonna trade? Because
Yeah,
Rona,
true.
we
That's
had
true.
everything
And
to trade.
You know, the other thing I'm thinking about, especially when it comes to that capitalism society that we live in, bro, I think that's where everything starts in terms of going wrong with capitalism. Because number one, the rich, they can control anything. They control even your government. They do things according. The government is going to get instructions.
Our government is fucking
And
getting
you know what's-
instructions,
All the government.
bro.
All
You know
the
what's fucked up?
government.
There's
All of
even
them.
a terminology for it. Bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Meaning a government
With
run
no-
by the rich. Yes,
You
when I
can
go to
buy
Donald Trump,
politics.
Cyril Ramaphosa, but they're not the actual chess
Nah,
movers.
it's
know.
not
Movers,
that.
yeah, there's other people above.
Yeah.
And
You can
this
buy
is-
politics.
You know, this is what Gayton McKenzie said the other day. He was okay, the first video I saw of him was literally at the borders. I can't remember which border it was, where he was like, it was at night, and he was like, look, there's no security here, there's no police, there's no metro, there's no soldiers. It's literally an open land between two countries where people are just flocking in. And then the second video I actually saw of him is now when he was at a conference and he was talking about the fact that the capitalist society is so wrong because you know what they do? The rich or the people who own businesses are now employing illegal foreigners. Why? In exchange for cheap labor. Now, it firstly fucks up the South African who is a citizen in the country, meaning now your job is being taken by another person for a lesser price. Don't forget, the people, let me rather say, any person that works in the country and earning a living does not pay tax. Whereas if you are a citizen, or let me rather say, any foreigner that works in the country and earning a living does not pay tax. Let me not say those that are like, for instance, the businesses in your townships that are like tuck shops and stuff. They don't pay tax, whereas you pay tax. That's why you've seen a lot of spaza shops that have actually lost business because of the fact that they still need to pay tax, whereas the guys who are coming here as asylum seekers and starting businesses,
And you know, they don't bank those guys, ne?
they don't bank. Exactly. That's another thing.
Like-
they take money back home,
Bro.
in most cases,
Like, you're taking cash.
practically. So he was literally saying, "Ore," and he made a few examples. He made that example. He made the hospital example as well, clinics and hospitals, to say you and me have medical aid. We can easily just step into a doctor and be like, "Hey, doc, I'm not well," whatever, or go to a private hospital and you name it, and we'll get served as soon as we need to be. Whereas anybody else who does not have that immediate medical opportunity to be served currently, and they have to now go to either a clinic or a public hospital, has 10 illegal foreigners
In front of them.
in front of them, meaning your resources as a citizen in your country are either, or you're going to find yourself in a position where you're not going to get the pills or the medication that you need to get, or you're going to be short of them. Anton. So he just practically mentioned how the capitalist society is not just being greedy, but also fucking us over. And this is like one of those examples where he's like, I don't care if you call me racist, if you call me whatever, you are the real racist because you are not employing the South Africans that are supposed to be employed, and you are now employing illegal
I think that's
foreigners.
the reason why that commission of inquiry that of the videos that Kagiso was talking about, I think that's one of their main thing that they're actually attacking. Besides the mismanagement of funds, there was a university of, I think it's UCT vice chancellor there being questioned. All of these, you've got 15% part of your staff is foreigners.
How the fuck does that even happen?
There's people that are unemployed. Did you
hear about that metro like police JMPD, where they now wanted to like hire foreigners?
Oh yes, I remember a couple of months back.
Like I don't remember, not to my knowledge, any government institute should only hire citizens. I don't care what institute it is, whether it's clinics, whether it's hospital, whether it's teaching, whatever.
So what the law is saying is that if no South African citizen or a South African has the skills to do that job that is required, then they can seek aid of a foreigner.
Yeah, but that's scarce skills.
Yes. So that's the only time a foreigner should be considered over a South African.
Yeah.
So if, for example, a neurosurgeon, someone who's going to operate, or a spinal surgeon, we don't have that in South Africa.
Yeah, it's a scarce skill. Yeah, exactly. Then you can seek assistance. Exactly.
But like a lecturer and all this, that's why they were drilling them. That's why they were saying there's so many unemployed graduates people that can do the skill. Why are you not hiring these people?
Bro, those guys, one of the things that guy said, he was like, you have foreigners, but you don't have Indians and coloreds.
Yeah.
In your thingy. How
is
did
that
you
possible?
get to foreigners without
Before
even getting to the other
real
races?
citizens? Doesn't fucking make sense. It doesn't fucking make sense.
And it should be a thing of they looking, and anything when they say we don't have maybe a doctor of a certain specialty in the country, they need to have looked and know who very we don't have. Then they can go and outsource and get one from outside.
That's what they say. Because
anything else can be done by anyone.
Because one of the excuses that they were using is that we took out an advert and people were not applying. So those people are saying that's not an excuse.
Which advert?
No, like for a job post.
But what job post was it?
For a dean position.
For a dean position.
Or like in the varsity.
Yes, they were talking in the varsity.
So
what people are saying,
I could have been a dean.
That man was even making an example. This person applied. That person is more qualified than the current person who has filled the position. But you didn't take them. Instead, you took the foreigner.
Nah, that's bullshit, bro. And honestly speaking, just to wrap it up, I just feel like our positions in parliament and in just what is this? The ministers are not like really in the perfect positions. But let me tell you, I honestly wish Gayton was in the Home Affairs position, because I feel like he would have done so much of a difference for this country. Because you must remember, it's not just about jobs. It goes to crime. Our women are getting raped. Our brothers are getting killed. People are just literally getting robbed, getting killed, and there's no one to say,
but can I tell you something?
You did this too.
If the people above him
saying no
are controlled by people with money, there's fuck all he was gonna do.
It's fine.
There's a reason why they didn't give him that position of
they didn't give him that position because they saw that he was gonna.
But that's what I'm saying. Capitalist society is fucking shit up. Cause
don't worry, Gayton. You and GSL, we have to have a conversation. You're gonna be sitting here in the
bucket.
In the no, not in the bucket. Come on, man. We're talking to Gayton, man. Why you wanna put Gayton in the bucket now? Also you, my man. Oh, we're gonna put a nice seat here for him, couch even, boss, Single seat. We're like, hey, come on, Gayton. Yeah, he's gonna be here very soon. We're gonna do the things. And good people, thank you very much for tuning in. We're wrapping up. Was there anything else that you wanted to mention before we get out of here? Neo,
I'm good.
I'm good, my dog.
All right, that means we are wrapping up at Gayton. We need you here, my man.
In the pocket.
I ask you. You heard the man. He said it, not me. Global Streetz Live, reporting live. Thank you very much. And we are
out of here.